Okay, I think I got sound now. Let's see. Looks like. Yeah, let's see. I'm seeing sound coming from my console here. Okay. It's on delay. It's on delay. Delay does not mean denial. How many times have we heard that lesson? Delay does not mean denial. So I'm not too sure if we're experiencing technical difficulties. I don't know what's going on here. It's so far behind, so delayed. So it's so far behind. I think I got sound now. Let's see. Looks like. Yeah, let's see. I'm seeing sound coming from my console here. Okay. It's on delay. It's on delay. Okay, I think I got sound now. All right, so I'm pretty much convinced. Well, I tell you, it's interesting how when you're used to something a certain way and then things shift, it kind of just redirects the traffic. But be it as it may, those that are going to view this later on will probably eventually, after I get my 1 week strike off, will feed it over to the other channel. And in the meantime, did some research this week, and we're going to, right now we're streaming through Twitch. We're streaming through Twitch, and we're streaming through our side channel, my ElderCharlesCotton channel, and we're streaming on Facebook, on my Facebook page. So we do have Patreon. We started a Patreon account, so we're going to be doing some stuff there. Things that I feel that maybe would cause issues with YouTube, I'll kind of throw over there, because YouTube is kind of getting really ridiculous. I posted a video last week and showing the nonsense, the nonsensical ness of people who have fallen for the EF. Okay, I can't say certain words now because they will give you a strike if you say certain words. So F, as pertaining to Donald Trump and the 2020 E. Okay, so because you can't say EF, you'll get a strike. So I can say the letters and talking code, which it won't pick up what I'm saying. So they suspended my other channel because they said I violated community guidelines. So since they did that, so now we're going to have to use code to speak when we're saying certain things so that our channel won't get flagged for community guidelines violations. So since I played a video clip showing the nonsense of the overwhelming people that believe in this EF, 2020 EF, you know, they suspended my channel for 1 week. Okay, so with regards to that, we're going to do a parlor we open up, and also I have a Rumble channel. Rumble, are you ready to rumble? So we have to, it's sad that you got to do that, but you got to do, because how can you flag me for something that I'm not pushing? I basically was showing the nonsense of the people believing this crazy stuff. So, but they flagged my channel because of that. So be that as it may, we're going to go ahead and get started. We're going to face the Yerushalayim. Barukatah Yahweh, Eloheinu Malach HaOlam. Father, we thank you. We praise you and we bless you for this blessed Shabbat you've allowed us to see. We come before your name, Yahshua HaMashiach, who came through 42 generations to enable us to be engrafted back to the olive tree. We give you praise and honor on this day. And as we go forth today in this Shabbat, that you would just lead, guide, and direct us, give us words to say, help us to say something that's going to minister to those who are going to hear this. And as we share this on next week, delayed on our regular channel, we pray that those that come in contact with this lesson get set free and delivered. In the name of Yahshua HaMashiach, we say hallelujah. 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 Torah Yah. Amen. Amen. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Let's go ahead and go to our opening passage in Exodus chapter 19. In Exodus chapter 19. And the reason this why, as soon as I get my glasses here, my CNI glasses. Elohim spake all these words. That's not the right one. I want 19. In the third month, when the children of Israel were going forth out of the land of Mizraim, the same day came they into the wilderness of Sinai, for they were departed from Rephidim and were coming to the desert of Sinai, and had pitched in the wilderness, and there Israel camped before the mount. And Moshe went up unto Elohim, and Yah called unto him out of the mountain, saying, Thus shalt thou say to the house of Yaakov, and tell the children of Israel, You have seen what I did unto the Egyptians, and how I bore you up on eagle's wings, and brought you to myself. Now therefore, if you will obey my voice, indeed, and keep my covenant, then you shall be a peculiar treasure unto me above all people. For all the earth is mine. You shall be unto me a kingdom of priests and a Kodesh nation, or set apart nation. These are the words which thou shalt speak to the children of Israel. Now, the Most High gave us that, and we are doing this. We're doing the self same thing that our ancestors did then. And this lesson that we're going to talk about today is a lesson that a lot of people, let me just do this right quick before I get started. Please share with other people. I'm actually texting something. Please share. I'm going to say this, I'm going to text it. Please share with people that you know regularly join us on the Shabbat. If you know them, you know their YouTube channel or their Facebook page or whatever, please share with them, let them know we're live. YouTube shut us down on our main channel. So we're on our secondary channel. And so please share, let them know we're on live. We're just on another stream. Okay. Please share with those who usually join us. Okay, let them know we are on our other YouTube channel. That's Elder Charles. Just go YouTube, tell them to Google ElderCharlesCotton, and they should find it, and then they'll be able to come and find the stream. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. Got you rubbing your hands too. I just started something now. You know, y'all know I rub my hands and I'm feeling good. All right. Well, between two reasons why I rub my hands, I'm feeling good. The other reason I rub my hands because my hands is cold. Okay. All right. So please share that. Those of you on Facebook, all my haters, share it. Tell them, go ahead and share. Tell all the pastors and evangelists, bishops, all of them. Tell them to tune in so you can listen to this brother Elder Charles Cotton, who has a new name now, and he's talking crazy as usual. Okay, share that to him. I don't mind you talking about me. Okay. To you, I may be talking crazy, but to those that know how to read the scriptures, they know I'm telling the truth, right? Now, Shabbat Shalom, Aki Nathan, Netanyahu, share with people, let them know that we on our regular YouTube channel, YouTube gave us a community guide strike and suspended us from streaming live, so we're on our secondary channel. Okay, so with that said, let me get back to where I was. So this lesson that we're going to do is entitled The True Spirit of Izebel, which is the way you say her name in Hebrew. It's not Jezebel because there's no J in Hebrew, right? Mm-hmm. So her name couldn't have been Jezebel, so it had to be without the J. So the J has a Y sound, so you can say the spirit of Izebel, which can be spelled with an I or a Y or YI. In the Strong's, they spell it with an IZE, Izebel. Okay. Now, so the spirit of Izebel is what we're going to talk about today. Right now, what I want to do is, I've never done a lesson on the subject of Izebel or Jezebel. Okay. So this is actually the first time I ever did a lesson on it. Believe it or not, as long as I've been teaching, this is the first time I've actually really did a lesson. Now, I've made mention with regards to in passing, but I've never done a lesson on the subject matter, right? So what I want to do is we're going to go ahead and get started with the lesson. Before we get started, where's my iPad? Right here. It's not an iPad. I keep saying iPad. It's a tablet. It's a difference. PC, Windows operation is tablet. iPhone, Apple product is called iPad. Okay, it's a difference. All right, it's the same size, but it's like, you know, a Chevy. What's the truck? Chevy truck called? Let's use the Ford. The Ford truck versus the Dodge Ram. Those of us that drive a Ram, we don't look at Ford drivers the same. It's just different, right? So Apple and Android is not the same, okay? They're kind of competitions, right? So this is a tablet, all right? So what I want to do is we're going to first, I like to hit hard and then go as we go. The first thing I want to do is I'm not going to be interactive because I know a lot of people didn't make it live. So I'm not going to waste time looking for people to give me feedback. Now, if you just happen to be on there and you can throw something in there, please do. But we lost a lot of people because they shut our channel down. But they'll catch up later on. All right. So my question is this. Okay. A lot of people. I got one comment. Oh, okay. No, not a comment. But a lot of people, when it comes to the Jezebel spirit, okay, think about this now. Most people, when you talk about Jezebel spirit, they always talk about Jezebel spirit is a disobedient, controlling woman, right? You know what they always use whenever they talk about, or somebody that wears makeup,
mainly the makeup,
wear makeup and jewelry and face painted up and all that. So that's the spirit of Jezebel. We're going to tell you right now off the top, that's not the spirit of Jezebel. There might be some characteristics that may come along with her, but that is not the spirit of Jezebel or Izebel. We're going to tell you right up front what the spirit of Jezebel is, and then we're going to prove it in this lesson, right? The spirit of Jezebel is actually one who comes against what we just read in the opening. In Exodus 19, we read the Most High said, where's my seeing eye glasses here? The Most High said to Israel, if you obey my voice, verse 5, Exodus 19:5, if you obey my voice indeed and keep my covenant, then you shall be a peculiar treasure unto me above all people, for all the earth is mine. And you shall be unto me a kingdom of priests and a set apart nation. These are the words which thou shalt speak to the children of Israel. Now, the Jezebel spirit, in a nutshell, is the teaching that you don't have to obey the law. That's it. That's what the Jezebel spirit is. Wrap it up all, and we can prove it to you by going to Revelation. Let's go to Revelation. We're going to close it, and then we're going to open it up. Revelation chapter 2, verse 20 kind of nails it, right? All right. So you can read it for me then. That'll keep me from having to wear my seeing eye glasses. Revelation 2 and 20. All right.
Notwithstanding, I have a few things against thee, because thou sufferest that woman Izebel, which calleth herself a prophetess, to teach and to seduce my servants to commit fornication and to eat things sacrificed unto idols.
Okay, see that? So the teaching of the people of Israel and those that embrace the covenant, you call yourself a spiritual Israelite, the teaching of Jezebel is teaching them to commit fornication. All right. So now I want to read something out of the pseudepigrapha, and I got it over here. I'm just reach up here and grab it right quick. All right. Now, if those of you that are you like to read, get this here Old Testament pseudepigrapha, right? We read books, we take the meat off the bones and we throw the bones away, right? We don't eat everything because some stuff is not good. But you read it, take the meat off of it, bam, right? So what I want to do is I want to go to this is the life of the prophets, right? And you got your seeing eye glasses on. I want to look at Yahresh. Where is he at? Right here. Just read a little bit of Yahresh. You drop your glasses.
Chapter 3?
Yes.
Okay. Yahresh. This
Hold on a second. This is page, what's that,
388.
Those of you that have the pseudepigrapha, this is volume. Which volume is this? 2? Volume 2. So those of you that have volume 2, this is volume 2. And this is page 3. What was it? 388? Okay. 388 under Ezekiel. This is the life of the prophets, and what this section in the pseudepigrapha does, it tells you about the prophets and how they died, right? Okay, so go ahead. This is on the prophet Yahresh or Ezekiel. Okay, go ahead.
This man was from the land of Arira of the priests, and he died in the land of the Chaldean during the captivity. Okay, so
he died in the land of the Chaldean. Okay, now for those of you that know your scriptures and know your biblical history, where is the land of the Chaldees at? Okay, now we would consider that to be that's where Abraham came from. If you read the books, you know Abraham came from a land where they worship many strange deities, and so he basically the Most High used him and told him to get up from Ur of the Chaldees, right? Because down in that land in Babylon, they was making their own deities idols to worship. Now here we see the nation of Israel. If you follow us on our previous lessons in 2 Kings chapter 17, the king of Assyria took Israel out of the land and took them into Babylon, right? To Assyria, right? Which is Babylon, same thing, right? And they took the people out of Babylon and brought them into Israel. So they brought all the deities that Abraham fled from and put them in the land of Israel, where Abraham was promised the land. Okay, now we find Yahresh, Ezekiel the prophet, is now prophesying and died in the land of the Chaldees, where Abraham fled from that Israel, it's interesting how the Most High sent the nation of Israel back where he took the father Abraham from to do what? To have the prophets to speak the word of Yah to the pagan worshipers. Oh, my mercy. So now this is going to make a lot of sense now when we finish reading this. So Yechezkel died. It says where he died. Where did he die? In Chaldee? In the Chaldee. Okay, go ahead.
After having prophesied many things to those in Judea, the ruler of the people Israel killed him there as he was being reproved by him concerning the worship of idols. And they buried him in the field of Maor, in the grave of Shem and Arpachshad, ancestors of Abraham, and the tomb is a double cave. For Abraham also made Sarah's tomb in Hebron like it. It is called double because there is a twisting passage and an upper room which is hidden from the ground floor, and it is hung over the ground level in the cliff. Keep going or stop?
That's good. So now we understand that the prophet Yechezkel, the reason why he's important is because we're going to show you that he prophesied, and now the interesting thing is that of all the prophets in there, they don't have the prophet Eliyahu in there. Look and see if you see Eliyahu. I don't think I've seen him in there. They had, so if you look at the numbers 3, 4, 5, I don't think I've seen him in there. I could have overlooked him. Okay, so while she's looking that up, so now we got to get this, brothers and sisters. Oh, it is there? Oh, yeah, okay. All right, read that. She found it. Okay. All right, read a little bit about Eliyahu.
And that's chapter 21.
Chapter 21. All right, go ahead.
Eliyahu the Tishbite or Thespite from the land of the Arabs of Aharon's tribe was living in Gilead, for Thesbe was given to the priests. When he was to be born, his father Sobaka saw that men of shining white appearance were greeting him and wrapping him in fire, and they gave him flames of fire to eat. And he went and reported this in Jerusalem, and the oracle told him, "Do not be afraid, for this dwelling will be light, and his word judgment, and he will judge Israel. The signs which he did are these: Eliyahu prayed, and it did not rain for 3 years. And after 3 years he prayed again, and abundant rain came. In Zarephath of Sidon, through the word of Yah, he made the jar of the widow not to fail, and the flask of oil not to diminish. Her son who had died, Yah raised from the dead after Eliyahu prayed. When the question was posed by him and the prophets of Baal concerning who is the true and real Elohim, he proposed that a sacrifice be offered both by him and by them, and that fire would be placed under it, but that each should pray, and the one answering him would be Yah. You want me to keep going, or
does it tell you how he died?
Oh, I don't know. I do see something.
Okay, go ahead, read that part there.
Accordingly, the prophets of Baal prayed and cut themselves until the 9th hour, and no one answered them. And Eliyahu, when he had filled the place with the sacrifice, where the sacrifice was, with much water, also prayed, and immediately fire came down and consumed the sacrifice, and the water was gone. And all blessed Yah and killed the 450 prophets of Baal. When King Ahaziah sent to obtain an oracle from idols, Eliyahu prophesied death, and he died. When 2 captains of 50 were sent to him from Ahaziah, the king of Israel, he invoked Yah, and fire came down from heaven, and the fire consumed them at Yah's command. So no, it doesn't.
Doesn't tell how he died.
Doesn't tell how he died.
Okay, maybe it was in the middle part somewhere. Okay, so it didn't tell how he died. Okay, all right. So maybe that's the reason why people believe he's coming back. It's because people believe that he didn't die. All right. we'll deal with that on another lesson. But now, so what I want to show you is that Eliyahu, who the world calls Elijah, he prophesied against Israel because of their idols and of their pagan worship, right? In the land of Jerusalem, right? Now, we're going to go to 1 Kings chapter 16, right? We'll read a little bit about Izebel and Ahab, all right? So 1 Kings chapter 16, all right? And we're going to start at verse 29. Okay, 1 Kings chapter 16, verse 29, where we go right straight to the king, right? The king Ahab. Okay. Now, incidentally, while she's getting that, Ahab means love. Ahab in Hebrew means love. So he loved something. So we're going to see what he loved, right? All right, so go ahead.
In the 38th year of Asa, king of Judah, began Ahab, the son of Omri, to reign over Israel. And Ahab, the son of Omri, reigned over Israel in Samaria 22 years. And Ahab, the son of Omri, did evil in the sight of Yah above all that were before him. And it came to pass, as if it had been a light thing, for him to walk in the sins of Jeroboam, the son of Nebat, that he took to wife Izebel, the daughter of Ethbaal, king of the Zidonians, and went and served Baal and worshiped him. Okay, that's good. So Ahab, the lover, it says that when he became the king, right? He took to wife Izebel.
Right. First it said he did evil. That's what I would deal with the first. Ahab did evil in the sight of Yah above all that were before him. So he did more evil than any other king before him. What was the more evil? We're going to show you in a second. He did more evil, right? All right, than any that were before him. Okay, verse 31, it says, as if it was a light thing, he walked in the sins of Jeroboam. Stop. Now we gotta show you what was the sin of Jeroboam. So to get that, we're going to go to 1 Kings chapter 12. And we're going to show you what the sin of Jeroboam, because it said that he did evil in the sight of Yah, and it says that he walked in the sins of Jeroboam. So what was the sins of Jeroboam, right? So let's go to 1 Kings chapter 12, right? And we're going to read verse 25 through 33, okay? 2 Kings chapter 12, verse 35 through 33, all right?
Verse 25 to 33?
Yes, 25 to 33, all right?
And Jeroboam built Shechem in Mount Ephraim, and dwelt therein, and went out from thence and built Penuel. And Jeroboam said in his heart, now shall the kingdom return to the house of David.
Stop. So he was concerned about, let me just give you a little history. When King Shlomo was the king, Israel was united as one united kingdom. Okay, the united kingdom of great Israel. Israel was united, but when Shlomo got old, you can go to 1 Kings chapter 11, 1 Kings chapter 11, read the whole chapter. It said when Shlomo got old, he married many wives of other nations. He had 700 wives and 300 concubines. And what did Shlomo do? He built places of worship, altars, that's what altars are, places of worship, for his wives, right? And the Most High was angry with him and told him, he said, I'm going to split your kingdom, right? I'm going to save one tribe, which is the tribe of Yehuda, for your father David's sake, or David. And I'm going to give the other 11 tribes to your servant, right? I'm saving you some reading time, okay? So now, when Shlomo did that, it caused the kingdom to be divided. So now we find ourselves now in Kings where Jeroboam was now the king of the 11 tribes. But he had the fear that they were going to return to Yah, right? And obey Yah. And in obeying Yah comes what? The blessings, right? And if the blessings come, Yah will do what? Forgive the sin. What's 2 Chronicles chapter 17? 2 Chronicles 7:14 says?
Yes.
Right? If my people, will call by my name, will humble themselves, pray, seek my face, and turn from the wicked ways, I will hear from heaven, I will forgive their sins and heal their land, right? So he knows the scripture. So to keep Israel in the cursed state, oh my mercy, he had to keep them in apostasy so that he could remain on top. And that's the spirit of Jezebel. Those that want to maintain their empire will keep you in apostasy so they can continue to benefit off of your transgression. Oh my mercy. While you struggle, they climb to the top because of your disobedience. Because the scripture says what? The Most High judges sin, right? Shaul said that in Colossians and Ephesians, he said the wrath of Yah comes upon who? The children of disobedience. So Jeroboam was in the scriptures. He knew, if I want to keep this power, I got to keep them in sin. What I mean by keeping them in sin? Keeping them disobeying the Creator. Right? So the spirit of Jezebel, the doctrine of Jezebel, is to keep the children of Israel disobeying the laws, statutes, and commandments of Yah. Has nothing to do with makeup, earrings, jewelry, but it has everything to do with disobeying the laws, statutes, and commandments that we read in Exodus chapter 19 at the beginning of the session. If you obey my voice indeed and keep my covenant, I will make you a kingdom of priests and a set apart nation. So the spirit of Jezebel is the doctrine that teaches that you don't have to obey the law, statutes, and commandments, and those that have the head over you will continue to be a head over you. Why? Because Deuteronomy 28 says that if you don't obey my covenant, I will make you the tail and not the head. But if you obey my covenant, I will make you above and not beneath. I will make you the lender, not the borrower, right? So the doctrine of Jezebel, the spirit of Jezebel, teaches the children to commit fornication. We read in Revelations, right? Teaching the children of Israel to commit fornication, right? Oh my. So now we're laying the groundwork for this spirit of Jezebel. So next time you hear somebody tell you Jezebel has to do with makeup, tell them you don't know what you're talking about. It has nothing to do with makeup. It has everything to do with disobeying the commandments of Yah. All right. So Jeroboam did all. It says he did what? Did we read that part yet? I just kind of started talking.
Just read 25 and 26.
Okay, read. Okay, so verse 26 says, Jeroboam said in his heart, now shall the kingdom return to the house of David. So he realized that. So if I can keep them in disobedience, I can continue to remain as king. That's what this nation does. They don't want you so-called African Americans, blacks, and Negroes to know you Israel, and that you repent and turn it Most High, that the white power is going to lose its power when Israel returns. Why? Because Israel was promised to be what? The kingdom of priests to the nations. Oh my mercy. So you can't get it through the legislation of the United States government, right? We get it from the government of Yah. And when we return to the government of Yah, the Messiah returns and gathers his elect from what? Four corners. And does what? Brings us back to Israel to do what? Rule and reign for 1,000 years with him on this physical earth. Hallelujah. But if you don't know you Israel and you think you don't have to obey the law, statutes, commandments, you continue to be perpetuated in a curse under another nation, under a people that are no people, according to what the Most High said in his word. Right? Okay? So that's what the Most High is saying, right? Now, okay, go ahead, verse 27 now.
If this people go up to do sacrifice in the house of Yah at Yerushalayim, then shall the heart of this people turn again unto their Elohim.
There you go.
Even unto Rehoboam, king of Judah, and they shall kill me and go again to Rehoboam, king of Judah.
There you go. See that? See, it's something about the righteous. When the righteous know the wicked in Israel, it was approved for you to kill the wicked. And all their idols. They knew that, right? So now let's go back to let's go somewhere, because we read in First Kings chapter 16 that he said that. So we see what Jeroboam did, right? Jeroboam. Oh, let's continue to read a little bit. Let's say go down to 33, right? Okay, what verse are we at?
I think I
read 28 again.
Oh, I didn't read 28.
You didn't read 28?
Just read one verse.
Okay.
Whereupon the king took counsel and made 2 calves of gold.
There you go.
And said unto them, it is too much for you to go to Yerushalayim. Behold thy deities, O Israel, which brought thee up out of the land of Mitzrayim.
Stop. What did he do? He made a golden calf. He did the same thing Aharon did. When Israel came out of Egypt and Moshe went up to the mountain to hear from the Most High, what did they do? They brought all their gold, right? And made a golden calf. That's what Jeroboam did.
You're giving credit to the deities for bringing them out of the land.
Huh? See that? It was a repeat performance. So he did this exact same thing that the priest of Yah, Aharon or Aaron, Aharon, that's how you say the name in Hebrew. He did the same thing that Aharon did, right? He made a golden calf. Who is the golden calf? Baal, also known as Molech, right? So the deities are known under different names in different nations, but it's the same one, right? The same one has many names. You know, you heard the expression, God has many names, right? Satan is the God of this world. He has many names, right? One of his names is Baal or Baal or Molech, right? We're going to go into some other names a little later on to show you. We're going to connect the dots, right? So that's what he did. So he made a golden calf and told them, these are the deities that brought you out of Egypt. Now he said, these be. He said, these be.
Yeah.
I said, these be the exact. Or am I making it up? These be the gods. He said to them, for you to go through, behold thy Elohims that brought thee up out of the land. No, it's somewhere else where they said, these be the gods. But that's another place somewhere we read that. I mean, we didn't read it, but somewhere in the book it says, these be the gods. But he's saying the same thing. He made a golden calf. He did the exact same. You got to read the life of Abraham, because Abraham's father did the exact same thing. He made an idol, a golden calf, right? Which is what? Mammon. Because gold is what? Money. Right? So when you talk about when the Messiah says, I'm kind of jumping ahead a little bit, but when the Messiah said, you cannot serve Yah and serve Mammon. He's talking about riches. How much richer can you get than a golden calf? Solid, 100% solid gold from all the gold. And the gold back then wasn't like the gold today where they mix it up as gold plated. It was solid gold, brothers and sisters. All right. Okay, go ahead.
Verse 29.
29.
And he set the one in Bethel, and the other put he in Dan.
That's 2.
And this thing became a sin, for the people went to worship before the one, even unto Dan.
So then he made 2 idols for them to worship, right? To keep them in disobedience so he can continue to remain on the top. All right, go ahead.
And he made a house of high places, and made priests of the lowest of the people, which were not of the sons of Levi. And Jeroboam ordained a feast in the 8th month, on the 15th day of the month, like unto the feast that is in Judah.
Woo!
And he offered upon the altar. So did he in Bethel, sacrificing unto the calves that were upon the altar. So did he in Bethel, sacrificing unto the calves that he had made, and he placed in Bethel the priests of the high places which he had made. So he offered upon the altar which he had made in Bethel the 15th day of the 8th month, in the month which he had devised of his own heart, and ordained a feast unto the children of Israel, and he offered upon the altar the burnt incense.
Now, what you just read there? That was some good stuff.
He ordained basically a pagan feast.
Right. So he did a substitution, right? Where he took Yah's feast, he got rid of Yah's feast, right? And made him an idol to worship. He made him a god to worship, a golden calf, the god of prosperity. That's who Baal is. Baal is the deity of prosperity, the Lord of the harvest, right? So he made him a Lord to worship, called the Lord of the harvest, right? And so then in turn, because to keep the people disobeying the Most High, Almighty mercy, he created a holiday that was after the holiday of Yah. So every holiday, which is a holy day that the Most High gave the children of Israel, Satan has a counterfeit, right? You look at the feast days, you look at the first feast, which is a Pesach, unleavened bread. Satan give us what? What did he give us? Easter, right? Right? Y'all give us Pentecost, right? Shabbat YAH, right? What did the world give us? 4th of July and Memorial Day and May Day. May Day. So pick which one you want to pick. They're all a substitution from the feast of, from the days of Yah. All right. Then you go to the end, right? Most High gave us the memorial trumpets, right? And so that's the end of the season, right? Then what do they give us? They give us what? Whole Halloween, right? Thanks taken, and then Xmas, right? So the enemy did the same thing that Jeroboam did to keep the children of Israel in disobedience. What he did, he gave them substituted holy days or holidays. Got rid of Yah's days to keep them in disobedience and gave them holidays, which are holy days, which are substitutions to replace the feast of Yah. Oh my. That's what he did. That's what she just read. And I broke it down to you. Now you can read it again and you'll see what I'm just saying, because Jeroboam knew that they were going to return to Yah. So your pastor know you're going to return to Yah. So to keep him rich, right? He keep you tell, oh, we're not under the law, we under grace. So what's he doing? He's teaching the doctrine of Jezebel. You don't have to obey Yah. We're under grace. We're under new covenant. We got some Hebrews that teach that. We don't have to obey the law. We Israelites, yeah, we know Israel, but we're not under the old covenant. We're under the new covenant now. That's the doctrine of Jezebel. Okay? Ah, you never saw it that way before, have you? Takes a whole new meaning now, huh? All right. So that was the doctrine of Jezebel. Now, go back to 1 Kings chapter 16. And before you continue to read, you read something in there we talked about he sinned greater sins than Jeroboam, right? And I want to give you another reference. That was in verse. It said, verse 31. It came to pass as if it had been a light thing for him to walk in the sins of Jeroboam the son of Nebat, that he took him a wife, right? He took him a wife. He took him a wife, Jezebel, the daughter of Izebel, king of Zidonians, and went and served Baal and worshiped him. Now, so we're going to break it down. Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 7. We're going to show you what this light thing that he took to be a light thing that was not a light thing, right? That the Most High had gave a law pertaining to this thing that he did. He violated the law of Yah. So we're going to read Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 1 through 3, is it? We're going to continue down. Okay, let's just read. Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 1. All right, go ahead.
When Yah thy Elohim shall bring thee into the land whither thou goest to possess it, and cast out many nations before thee, the Hittites and the Girgashites, and the Amorites and the Canaanites, and the Perizzites and the Hivites and the Jebusites, 7 nations greater and mightier than thou. And when Yah thy Elohim shall deliver them before thee, thou shalt smite them and utterly destroy them. Thou shalt make no covenant with them, nor show mercy unto them. Neither shalt thou make marriages with them. Thy daughter thou shalt not give unto his son, nor his daughter shalt thou take unto thy son. For they will turn away thy son from following me, that they may serve other deities. So will the anger of Yah be kindled against you, and destroy thee suddenly. But thus shall ye deal with them. Ye shall destroy their altars, and break down their images, and cut down their groves, and burn their graven images with fire. For thou art a Kodesh people unto Yah thy Elohim, and Yah thy Elohim have chosen thee to be a special people unto himself above all people that are upon the face of the earth. Yah did not set his love upon you, nor choose you, because ye were more in number than any people, for ye were the fewest of all people.
That's good. So now, so we see that the Most High told them not to marry the nations, right? So it says the Hittites, the Girgashites, the Amorites, Canaanites, Perizzites, Hivites, Jebusites, right? He told them not to marry them, right? So Izebel is who? It says she was the daughter of who? All right, let's go back. Let's go back to 2 Kings chapter 16. 1 Kings chapter 16. I like 2 Kings. Keep saying 2 Kings. 1 Kings chapter 16. And I think what verse was that? 31. It said that Izebel was the daughter of Izebel, king of the Zidonians. So Jezebel fits in that Canaanite clan that the Most High said told them not to marry, right? So let's go back again. We see it broken down deeper in Judges. So let's go to Judges chapter 3 so we can get a little more clarity. So go to Judges chapter 3, right? Because Izebel, we already know she was a Canaanite. She was a part of the Canaanite clan. And we know from the story of Noah that Canaan was cursed. Not Ham, but Canaan was cursed to be a servant, right? To his brothers. All right, so in Joshua chapter 3, not Joshua, Judges. I'm looking at Joshua. Chapter 3, go ahead.
Verse 1? Mm-hmm. Now these are the nations which Yah left to prove Israel by them, as many of Israel as had not known all the wars of Canaan. Mm-hmm. Only that the generations of the children of Israel might know to teach them war. Mm-hmm. At the least such as before knew nothing thereof. Namely 5 masters of the Philistines and all the Canaanites and the Sidonians and the Hivites that dwelt in Mount Lebanon from Mount Baal Hermon unto the entering in of Hamath. And they were to prove Israel by them to know whether they would hearken unto the commandments of Yah, which he commanded their fathers by the hand of Moshe.
That's good. All right, now I got a thought. I got to leave you here. So the Most High did wipe them out, right? He left them there for Israel to make a choice to serve him. Now, religiously, we've been taught, oh, God, I'll make you serve him. No, he will not.
Well, the devil's trying to tempt me.
No. He will leave the wicked there to prove you. So your future and your present state is a result not of the devil, not God's trying to tell me something. No, your current state is a result of your decision. Right? And when I say your decision, Most High said in Exodus chapter 20, he visits the iniquities, right? Of the fathers to the children to the 3rd and 4th generation. So you say, well, brother, I didn't do nothing wrong. To the 3rd and 4th generation. So if you go back 3 or 4 generations, you might be reaping the judgment of 3 or 4 generations back. You got high blood pressure? You eat healthy? Somebody 3 or 4 generations back brought that germ into your bloodline. You got sugar diabetes? Arthritis? High cholesterol, rheumatism? Autoimmune?
Many sicknesses today.
Sciatic, whatever. Psychotic?
Yeah, mental illness. Yeah.
3 or 4 generations in your bloodline, in your DNA, it was passed down, right? That's why your life is the way it is. You have a fatherless history of your fathers leaving and the mothers being single. That's 3 or 4 generations back, right? You have drug abuse, drug addiction, 3 or 4 generations back. Somebody suffered with it. It was passed down through your DNA, right? You fight with homosexuality, somebody back in your history molested boys or molested a child somewhere in your history, right? Most High said he visited the iniquities of the fathers to the 3rd and the 4th generation, right? And showing mercy unto thousands of them that love him by keeping his commandment. So when we keep his commandment, he will show mercy to us. He will allow us to see his right hand. Right? Mm-hmm. That's why he left them there, to prove to Israel whether or not they would serve him. He's not going to make you serve him. He'll put you there. That's the reason why the so-called right don't get it right, because they think they can make you choose life. Only Yah gives the right to choose.
To you.
Right.
Yeah. Presents the facts, or on both sides. And whichever tree you're eating from, that's who you serving. That's whose fruit you manifesting.
It took me 50 years to figure that out. You are a result of your choice. Now, we can't continue to blame the mother and the father and so forth. They had their part, but now the buck stops with you. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You got to make a decision, right? Don't allow the spirit of Jezebel to cause you to continue in oppression, right? Make the right choice. Don't let your peer pressure, let your friends around you, everybody's getting married but me. So you feel like you got to go and advertise yourself to get you a husband. You're going to get what you advertise for, right? Mm-hmm. So let's go back. So he left them there to prove Israel, verse 4, whether they would know whether they would hearken to the commandments, whether they would obey Yah or follow the doctrine of Jezebel. Oh, my mercy.
Whether you're going to obey Yah or follow the doctrine of Mammon. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we can look at it today.
Go ahead, say that again.
Mm-hmm. It said whether you're going to obey the commandments of Yah or obey the doctrine of Mammon. Like you said, grace. Mm-hmm. You know, if you want to bring it to today.
Right. All right, go ahead, read verse 4 now.
And they were to prove Israel by them, to know whether they would hearken unto the commandments of Yah, which he commanded their fathers by the hand of Moshe. Mm-hmm. And the children of Israel dwelt among the Canaanites, Hittites, and Amorites, and Perizzites, and Hivites, and Jebusites. And they took their daughters to be their wives, and gave their daughters to their sons, and served their deities.
See that? So that was the thing that the Most High said that Ahab did that he thought was a light thing. He married these people who worship Baal, who worship idols, as my Isha said, who worship Mammon, money, the love of money, right? And so people would do what? Teach people what they want, to give them what, an itching ear, right? Smooth things.
So now we got sin in the camp. We got a cancer, wildfire that's spreading.
Have mercy.
Not just affecting them, but generations to come.
To the third and fourth generation. So the Most High says, of them that hate me. Huh? He said, if you don't obey me, you hate me. Oh, I love the Lord. No, you don't. You might love the Lord, Baal, the deity of Mammon, good fortune, Fortuna, right? There's another name for Baal, Fortuna, fertility deity, the God of the harvest, the Lord of the harvest, right? You might serve him, but he said he will visit the iniquities of them that hate me and don't keep his commandments. I'm kind of paraphrasing it, but showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me and keep his commandment. There you go. Visiting the iniquities of the father to the children, to the third and fourth generation of them that hate me. How do you hate him? By not obeying his commandments.
And a wildfire is hard to put out. A malignant cancer is hard. It's difficult to get rid of. Very resistant to medicine.
Mm-hmm.
Very resistant to the truth.
Mm-hmm. That's right. All right. So now let's go back to 1 Kings chapter 16. So prayerfully by now, you getting already what the spirit of Jezebel is. So you can wear your makeup if you want to. You can put your earrings on. And that's not the spirit of Jezebel. We're showing you what the spirit of Jezebel is. Because you think you holy because you don't wear makeup and jewelry.
Moderation now.
Huh?
With moderation.
Well, that's your class. All right. So now here's the thing. Let's continue. So it said that he did as if it was a light thing, right? All right. Where we at? He took the wife. That's verse 31. All right. Now let's go to verse 32. Now this is what King Ahab did, right? He married. He transgressed after the sins greater than the sins of Jeroboam, and then he married. Now he's going to break it down and show you what he did. So verse 32, 1632.
And he reared up an altar unto Baal in the house of Baal, which he had built in Samaria. Mm-hmm. And Ahab made a grove, and Ahab did more to provoke Yah, the Elohim of Israel, to anger than all the kings of Israel that were before him.
Wait a minute. You're reading too fast. Look at 32. He reared up an altar for the Lord. In case you don't get it, let's do this for you, because some of y'all saying, brother, they don't say Lord there. I want you to get one of these, right? This is the Compact Bible Dictionary. All you Bible scholars, y'all know this stuff. Use these books. Blow the dust off of them. You went to theology school. Now make an application to what you learned. This is Smith's William Smith's Bible Dictionary. I got this for $3.50. This Compact Bible Dictionary cost me $1. Right? So now go here. She's gonna read, and you're gonna read who Baal is. Can you see? You need to see in eyeglasses. Oh, you don't need them? Right there. She's gonna read who Baal is. All right.
Appears in. It says Lord, possessor, okay. Husband.
No, take your time. Read it with authority. Don't be shy.
Appears in the Old Testament with a variety of meanings. Mm-hmm. Master, mm-hmm. or owner, mm-hmm. husband. Mm-hmm. Usually, however, it refers to a farm god, mm-hmm. or deity, okay. of the Phoenicians and the Canaanites, responsible for crops, flocks, mm-hmm. fecund farm families. Mm-hmm. Each locality had its own master or deity, mm-hmm. Baal. The Baalim were worshipped on high places with lascivious rites, self-torture, and human sacrifice. Mm-hmm. Altars to Baal were built in Palestine. Izebel in Israel and Athaliah in Judah championed Baal mm-hmm. worship. Descendants of Reuben. Mm-hmm.
That's good.
Benjamin. Mm-hmm.
There was that one about where it said Lord. Or was it in this one here? Need your glasses.
Not your glasses don't help.
This print is small. You read it said means master, right?
The very first line which gave the different meanings of Baal.
Okay.
Lord, possessor,
right. Okay.
Husband.
Okay, there you go. So it says Lord, right? Mm-hmm. Possessor and husband, right? So that's what Baal means. It means Lord.
Master or
Lord,
owner.
Master, owner, right? So every time you say Lord, right? I know you say, well, brother, we speak English, but basically you're calling on Baal and don't know it, because that's what Baal is. Now, it means the Most High didn't tell us to call him that. And if he did tell us to call him Baal, because Baal is a Hebrew word, right? But it was the deity of the Canaanites that they worshiped, which was the golden calf, right? That's what Jeroboam made. He made the golden calf, right? Now, what I want to show you is, let's see, I'll read this one here. This is in the Smith Dictionary, right? Bible Dictionary, William Smith, LLD, revised and edited by FN and MA. Is that Pelubet? This is the teacher's edition. All right. Now, under Baal, it says a Reubenite, and it says the son of Yahiel and the grandfather of Shaul. But then it says here, that's one meaning, but number two, it says the supreme male divinity of the Phoenician and Canaanitish nations, as Ashtoreth was their supreme female deity. Some suppose Baal to, right, correspond to the sun, and Ashtoreth to the moon. Others that Baal was Jupiter and Ashtoreth was Venus, right? So those you scholars, you know who Jupiter is, right? That's the Greek deity. So they're bringing the names of the Lord, which is Baal, and they're showing you that different nations had a different name for the sun. We're tying this to the sun. The Egyptians called the sun Ra. The Greeks called the sun Sol, right? That's where you get the terminology solar year, right? All of the holidays are based around the sun. Easter is based around the sun, the rising of the sun. That's why you have an Easter sunrise service, right? Father's Day is on Sun's Day. Mother's Day is on Sun's Day, right? Never thought about it like that before, have you? The Father's Day represents Nimrod. The Mother's Day represents Semiramis, the sun and the moon. Oh, my mercy. You don't have to believe me. You can look it up. Now, it says Baal was Jupiter, Ashtoreth was Venus. There can be no doubt of the very high antiquity of the worship of Baal. It says it prevailed in the time of Moshe among the Moabites and Midianites. He gives scripture references there. In the time of the kings, it became the religion. Listen. In the time of the kings, it became the religion of the court and people of the 10 tribes. Oh, my mercy. Isn't that what Jeroboam just did? He said, I don't want them to return to Yah. I want them to serve the Lord. Don't obey the laws of the Most High. You're under grace. If I can keep you under grace, I can keep my foot on you, and I can continue to reign over you, and I can continue to prosper in my house while you continue to pay tithes and offering. So, in the time of the kings became the religion of the court and people of the 10 tribes, and appears never to have been permanently abolished among them. Temples were erected to Baal in Yehuda, and he was worshipped with much ceremonies. The attractiveness of this worship to the Hebrews undoubtedly grew out of its licentious character. They want prosperity. I want my stuff. So you do what? The Messiah said it. He said you cannot serve Yah and serve mammon. Riches. Right? And when you look at these Trump prophets, all of them prophesying wealth is coming to this nation. Right? That's what they prophesy. They don't really realize. Huh?
Call him Mr. T. You don't want more strikes.
No, they don't give me a strike for that. They give me a strike for saying the EF word. Right? They don't want you to say that. Right? All right. It says, we find this worship also in Phoenician colonies. The religion, the worship of Baal, serving the Lord, right, of the harvest, the Lord of good luck and fortuna, right? Now, I'm gonna show you something. We're not supposed to even call those names, but by permission, I'm giving it to you because you need to know this, and now you need to check your vocabulary because you're not supposed to be calling on the names of pagan deities. We're gonna show it to you. The religion, it says, the religion of the ancient British Islands much resembled this ancient worship of Baal. Oh my. This is Smith's Bible Dictionary saying that. So who gave us America? Huh? The British. All right, let's continue. The religion of the ancient British Islands much resembled this ancient worship of Baal and may have been derived from it. Nor need we to hesitate to regard the Babylonian Baal, or Belus, he says, as essentially identical with Baal, oh my mercy, through perhaps under some modified form, modification. What I've been telling you all along, God has many names, right? Yah has one name, and we can show you that in the book. He says his name one. He told Moshe in Exodus, he said, tell them that, he says, I am that I am, and sent. He said, tell them I am that I am sent. He said, tell them Yahuwah El Shaddai of Abraham. Yahuwah El Shaddai of Isaac. Yahuwah El Shaddai of Yaakov. He said, this is my name forever. Oh my mercy. He didn't say change it. He didn't say give me different names. He didn't say, oh, I'm this name over here, I'm this name over. He said, this is my name forever. That's why you say hallelujah and don't know what you're saying, because you calling on Yah, but you think you're saying something in the spirit. You are saying something in the spirit. You calling on his name in his pure form in the Hebrew tongue. Oh my mercy. So he says, Belus as essential identical with Baal through perhaps under some modified form. The plural Baalim, oh my, is found frequently, showing that he was probably worshipped under different compounds, among which appear. You can't make this stuff up. All right. Now, you need to read this. Get one of these. And don't look at me as if I'm making stuff up, because I can't make you serve Yah, and Yah not gonna make you serve him. But he will do what? He'll put before you, there you go. He'll put before you death and life, right? Cursings and blessings, right? And he says to us to choose. That's why the right don't get it. You can't make a person choose. You can't take a person's choice away. Yah gives man the right to choose. But there's judgment for that choice. But it's your right to choose. And I'm not going to take it away from you. Right? You want to abort a child? That's between you and Yah. Right? There's a judgment on that. Right? If you want to marry, if you a man and want to marry a man, that's your choice. I can't choose for you, but there's a judgment. You a woman and want to marry a woman, that's your choice. But there's a judgment coming. Every man is going to be judged for the deeds done in his or her body. So you do what you do and be happy with your choice, but just know that with every choice comes judgment. And some judgment happens now and some judgments happen later. Right? Just like that police officer kneeled on George Floyd's neck. Now he's got convicted on 3 counts. He made a choice to stay down on that man's knee. Whether he was thinking he was going to die or not is irrelevant. The man died at his hands. He chose to stay on the man's neck. Okay? And judgment came, right? All right. So we talking about the spirit of Jezebel. Let's go back to Revelation chapter 2 again. Let's bring it home. Oh, I got to say this before, while she's going to that. Let's go over to Exodus 23 and 13 to show you what I'm saying, because people say we speak English. This is for all of the Hebrew camps that continue to use Lord, God, Christ, Jesus, all of them. They are names of other deities. And the Most High said don't use it because he told you what his name was. Right? Let's do that right quick first. Let's go to Exodus 3 right quick first. All right, for somebody that's in doubt. You can do what you want to do with it. I'm gonna lay it before you. You can trample over it. You can count it, discount it, and say, "Well, that brother, he keeping us on the old covenant." Say whatever you want to say, but you know what? As a servant of Yah, as a prophet of Yah, right? I'm a prophet. I might not be a prophet like what you consider a prophet, but I'm a prophet. When I'm proclaiming Yah's truth, I'm a prophet. When you proclaiming Yah's truth, you're a prophet too. And you're not in it for a profit, all right? As they say, pun intended. All right, so Exodus 3, I think it was. 3:14. Exodus 3:13. All right, this is what the Most High said to Moshe. All right, you got it?
And Moshe said unto Yah, Behold, when I come unto the children of Israel, and shall say unto them, Yah, the Elohim of your fathers, have sent me unto you, and they shall say to me, What is his name? What shall I say unto them?
Go ahead.
And Yah said unto Moshe, I am that I am. And he said, Thus shalt thou say unto all the children of Israel, I am have sent me unto you. And Yah said moreover unto Moshe, Thus shalt thou say unto the children of Israel, Yah, your Elohim of your fathers, the Elohim of Abraham, the Elohim of Isaac, and the Elohim of Jacob have sent me unto you. This is my name forever, and this is my memorial unto all generations.
That's it. See that? Now, when you see that word Lord, do yourself a little favor. Get your Strong's Concordance. Look it up. It's what the world calls the Tetragrammaton, which is 4 letters. So what he was saying was, he said, these 4 letters, Yod, Hey, Wah, Hey, pronounced Yahweh, is my name forever. He didn't say until the King James translators change it. He didn't say until the Latins come on the scene. He didn't say until the Romans come on the scene. He didn't say until the English speaking people come on the scene and translate it. He said, this is my name forever. And he didn't stop there. He said what? A memorial.
All generations.
To all, you know, he said all Jewish generations. Huh? All Jewish? He didn't say all Jewish. He said all generations. So if you know you're Israel and you're a Hebrew Israelite, you got to drop all of them other names, right? And you got to call him by his name forever, because why? He said, this is my memorial. But when you let King James translators change the name of the Most High Yah and substitute it with another name, you have violated the third commandment. Oh my mercy. What does the third commandment say? Go to chapter 20. I think it's the third one. Yah spoke all these words saying, I am Yahweh, your Elohim, which brought you out of the land of Egypt. Thou shalt have no other deeds before me. 1, thou shalt not make unto thee any graven images. That's number 2. Of likeness in anything is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them nor serve them, for I, Yah, am a jealous Yah, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children to the 3rd and 4th generation of them that hate me, and show mercy to thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments. So how, when you love him, you keep, that's what the Messiah said. He wasn't making up his own words. He said, if you love me, keep my commandments. He got that from the beginning. There is no new commandments. You was taught a lie by the doctrine, by the priest of Baal. The doctrine of Jezebel. Then he says what? Thou shalt not take the name, right? In vain. How do you take the name in vain? Disobey him, right? And disobeying him means what? If he said that my name is Yahuwah and this is my name forever, and you call him something else, you're doing what? You're disobeying him. Yeah, but we speak English. I don't care. You disobey him. You better learn how to say his name in English so you can be in obedience. That's the whole thing. Yeah, but y'all got so many different ways to pronounce the name. Some of y'all say Yah, some of y'all say Yahuwah, some of y'all say Yahovah, some of y'all say Yahweh, some of y'all say Ahaya. I'm confused. Well, guess what? Of all that you said, you still got Yah in there, right? You got Yah, right? For the most part, and in the others you have Wah, right? So you can't have one without the other. So you can't have the Yah without the Wah. You can't have Ahaya and not have Ahawa. Because you can't have the source of life without having the giver of life. Oh my mercy. So that's why the name can't just simply be Ahaya, because you're leaving out the Wah. You see how this works? Yah is the breath and the Wah is the resuscitator of life. What's the sense of just having life? When you speak the words of Yah, the words of Yah is you resuscitating those that died, that are following the doctrine of Jezebel, the spirit of Jezebel. When you speak the word of life, you are resuscitating them. Breathing life. That's what the prophet Yezebel said. He said, can these bones live? What happened? They were dead. Very dead, right? He said, prophesy, right? How are you prophesying? You're breathing in the breath of Yah. Oh my mercy. So you can't have Ahaya without the Ahayawah. You gotta have the breath of life so that you can breathe life to those that are dead. Oh my mercy. Because see, Yah is life. You intake his life so you can give life. Oh my mercy. Y'all don't see it, but you got to see it. Every time you take a breath, that's giving you life. That's restoring your life. And every time you breathe, exhale, you've given life to those that need life. Oh my. So the third commandment says, you shall not remove the name. Thou shalt not take the name in vain. To take the name in vain, the word in Hebrew means to remove the name. You're not supposed to take the name, remove the name. All right. Now, let's go back to what I say, Exodus 23 and 13. This is why you got to get those names out your vocabulary, because the Most High said, don't call on those names. I know you got an attachment to it and you can't get free from it, but it's time to get free. All right. 23 and 12 was it? Go ahead.
23 and 13.
23 and 13. All right.
And in all things that I have said unto you, be circumspect, and make no mention of the name of other deities, neither let it be heard out of thy mouth.
That's it. See that? So if you don't get it, if the understanding hasn't come that the Most High's name is Yah, and this is my name forever, and you want to say, well, it's okay to call him the Lord and God and the Most High is just expression. It's an adjective. It's an adjective, right? Mm-hmm. Is that right? Yeah. But the name is specific, which means every name has meaning. So when we call upon the Most High by his name, we're calling upon the name that means life. And the name that means the giver of life, right? Just like the first man and first woman, he named his wife Hawa, which means the giver of life, life giver, right? All right, now, with that said, so I said go back to Revelation chapter 2. Let's read that again, right? Because we're dealing with the spirit of Jezebel. And in a nutshell, the spirit of Jezebel is what? Teaching people to disobey the commandments of the Most High Yah. That's the spirit of Jezebel. That's the doctrine of Jezebel. And along with that doctrine comes what? Worshiping of your pastor. Right? If my pastor teaches this, my pastor, you made an idol out of him. So now you also have adopted and have embraced the doctrine of Jezebel. Right? Don't believe me, believe the word of Yah. If I'm wrong, let me be wrong, but let Yah's word be true, right? All right. So Revelation 2, and what was it again?
You never said.
The doctrine of Jezebel. Hold on a second.
Church of God time.
We read it already. Let me see. Hold on a second.
This is where the church is not a church of.
There it is, right. 2 and 20. That's it. 2 and 20. All right, go ahead.
Notwithstanding, I have a few things against thee, because thou sufferest that woman Izebel, which calleth herself a prophetess, to teach and to seduce my servants, to commit fornication and to eat things sacrificed unto idols.
Okay. So the spirit of Izebel is summed up in what we just read. Okay. We gave you the history, right? Now, in modern times, the Messiah, because it's in the red, I think it's in the red, right? Most people don't know. The Messiah, when he died, when he was hung up, nailed to the tree, put on a cross, some people say, styros, right? We're not going to go off into have a discussion on that, right? But when he was hung up, right, for the sins of the world, right, He remained around for 40 more days. He didn't go back to heaven immediately. He remained for 40 days. He left 10 days before the Pentecost, Shabbat YAH, the day of Pentecost, which means 50. He was around for 40 days, right? All right, now, so when he was around for 40 days, this is what he said. Because it's in the red, right? I have the red letter edition, right? All right, so he said, you allow the woman Izebel who call herself a prophetess. Let's stop right here, right? Okay. So the prophetess is the one that proclaims, right, what the one who they say sent them said. So any prophet that is proclaiming to you to do the opposite of what Yah said from the beginning is operating under the spirit of Jezebel. Let me say that again. I don't care how accurate your prophecies is. You can prophesy somebody gonna get a new husband in 30 days, and it might happen. You can prophesy somebody gonna get a job. It might happen. You can prophesy somebody's going to get elected in office, and it happens. You can prophesy that somebody's going to get some money, and it happens. But if you don't prophesy what Yah says from the beginning, you, as much as sweet as you may be, as much as you may have good intentions, you are operating in the spirit of Jezebel, Izebel. Okay?
Yep. You're a deceiver.
Agree?
And a lie.
I'm like the attorney. Agree? Now, let's go back. So Izebel does what? What does she do? She taught them she called herself a prophetess, and what did she do? She taught and to seduce the servants. See, people stop with the seduction. Makeup is seduction. Jezebel seduces people. Don't stop there. Keep reading. She seduced them to do something. She wasn't trying to get them to come and have relations with her. That wasn't what she was trying to do. Y'all make a woman that's got on a short skirt and high heel shoes and makeup as a Jezebel. She might be a loose woman, but that don't make her a Jezebel because she looks like a woman of the night. I'll say it nice for the cheerings, right?
People are just, people can tend to, people like what they see. People are moved by what they see. So if you can get them there, you can lure them in.
Mm-hmm. But ultimately, her goal is not to draw you to her. Her goal is to draw you away from Yah. Mm-hmm. Now, if she's doing what she's doing to draw you away from Yah, then she's operating under the Jezebel spirit.
Yeah, everything she did had a motive.
Right?
Yep.
But her goal is to draw you away from Yah, from obeying the laws and statutes and commandments of Yah. So she can have a long dress all the way down to her ankles. She can be wrapped up from head to toe, right? But if she's teaching you to disobey Yah, she still got the Jezebel spirit just as much as the one that got on a short miniskirt with high heel with 6-inch or 9-inch pumps. Mm-hmm. So don't be deceived by the dress code. It's the intent of what the person does to the target, or the what's the word I'm looking for? Y'all know what I'm saying. The victim. All right. So the prophet, The Izebel, which calls herself a prophetess, to teach and seduce my servants to commit fornication. Right? Now, the word fornication is not talking about somebody having sex before marriage. That's what we was taught. You got to go to the book of the law and see what fornication is to understand what fornication is. And fornication is basically idolatry, disobeying Yah, obeying, follow after the deities of the nations of the world and serving them and following after their protocols. That's fornication. But religion has put emphasis on sex. And pardon me for using that word if there's any children listening. But religion have put emphasis on that word sex and not on the fornication, which is having idolatry, worshiping your pastor, bishop, pope, prophet, prophetess, evangelist, your church denomination, your organization, right? Worshiping your job, where you violate the laws and commandments of Yah for that thing which you substitute him for. That's what fornication is, right? So Jezebel taught them, she seduced them to commit fornication, right? And to eat things sacrificed to idols. Everything is blessed by prayer. If you just pray over it, the food is sanctified by the word and by prayer. You just condemned yourself when you said that, right? Because you said the food is sanctified by the word. If the food is sanctified by the word, then that means that what word is it sanctified by? You just condemned yourself, right?
Yeah, not none of his words in this book.
He don't tell you to eat scavengers, right?
So what deity or Lord?
The Lord done told you. The Lord done told you you're not under the law. So the Lord of the harvest, by all, was the one that told you that it's okay for you to eat things sacrificed to idols.
And he lied to you because, it's not sanctified, because it's making you sick.
It's not sanctified by the word, because the word says it's an abomination to you. It's unclean, right? All right. So she caused them to commit fornication. She seduced them, right? So how do you seduce a person to disobey? You make them feel good. When a person has a responsibility to do something or to obey something and they can't do it, and then you stand up in your pulpit and say, well, all is known and all is forgiven. Thank the Lord for grace. You're not under that old cruel law. All you got to do is just believe and tell him thank you. And then now you got this goosebump feeling. Now you, oh, thank you. Ooh. You feel good. You were seduced to believe that you don't have to obey the laws and statutes and commandments of the Creator. Seduce. That's what the spirit of Jezebel, the spirit of Jezebel is the spirit of seduction. She seduced her people, right? Into how much time do I have here? Let's see what I got. It's almost 2 o'clock. I'm gonna go a little further. All right. So prayerfully by now, we understand what the true spirit of Izebel is, right? Okay, we understand now that the true spirit of Izebel is not right? Makeup, jewelry, earrings, perfume, right? But it is teaching, seducing people, right, to commit fornication against. And fornication is having all these strange deities that you serve, right? That is the fornication. If my pastor teaches me to disobey the Creator, then guess what? I'm not going to follow him. Because why? He or she, some of y'all got woman pastors, is seducing me to disobey my Creator in heaven, who tells me to obey me and live. Okay? But you was taught it's okay to disobey. And now, let me bring it home. You got the same spirit of disobedience that attacks the home, right? Now, something I watched this documentary yesterday, and something came out of that documentary that was powerful to me. That was like, they may not have been saying it in that particular arena, but I grabbed a hold of it and I processed it. And so I want to read what I wrote, okay? I wrote why, no, that's not it. I'll come back to that. I wrote, where is it? Hold on a second. I gotta find it now. Where's my note? Y'all know we get up in age, you gotta write it down. Okay, I don't see my note, but let me see if I can articulate it. In the documentary called 13th by Ava DuVernay, good documentary, I admonish you to read it, and you'll see the narrative of the right who's trying to make the so-called blacks, African American Negroes, to appear to be degenerates. Good documentary to watch. But in the documentary, they say there's three things in the so-called African American black community that has caused complications. One, they said the absence of the father. They dealt with the drug scenario where how so many men had gotten caught up in drug addiction through crack cocaine, and now what is the new drug they in now? Opioid, is it? Opioid, heroin, heroin. I don't know what they got now on the streets. So a lot of homes are absent from. A lot of fathers, I should say, are absent in the home because whether it be through drug addiction, right? And so they end up incarcerated and get put in jail for selling drugs or using drugs or whatever away from the family. So the three most powerful things, and if we get back to obeying Yah and not following the doctrine of Jezebel, Izebel, we would get rid of that. The absence of the father, that was number one. The absence of Yah, right? Not religion, because we got religion, but the absence of Yah, which is what? Obeying his laws, statutes, and commandments. We get that one first. We get that one right first. Then that will teach us to keep what? The fathers in the home, right? And so if we obey Yah, right, that will teach us to do what? To have discipline, right? Because, see, let me say this here while I'm there. When you have an absence of your father in your home, there's a great void. When you have and you can have your father at home, but not have a proper relationship with the father that's at home and still have a hole. He may have not had a relationship with his father, so he don't know how to be a father and how to relate to the children, so he's absent. Remember the Most High said that, this is the Father's Day message right here, but the Most High said that to Adam, he said, where art thou? Right? Many men are missing in action. We are not a good representation of a head example to our family. We're just S donors, right? I said that for the children. We're not fathers. We just donors. But until the father learns to take his proper and rightful place as a father, and if you don't know how to be a father, maybe you didn't have an example of how to be a father, maybe you ought to study how to be a father and learn just like we learn how to do everything else. Right? You learn how to lay blocks. You learn how to build a house. You learn how to cut grass, how to brush your teeth, right? How to boil eggs. We should learn how to be a father. Don't be a father the way you was fathered if it's not right. Learn how to be a father, because the three things that is in the black community is what's hurting us. The absence of father, whether it be him absent due to incarceration or just that he's home stuck on the Sony PlayStation all day long and not paying no attention to his children, right? Not being a father. So they're going to do the same thing he doing. Go get on the couch and play games with him. They ain't learning nothing but how to play Sony PlayStation. That's not a father. That's a child in a grown man's body. So the absence of fathers is number one, and they're absent because they don't know Yah. Oh my mercy. They know religion. In some cases, they know spirituality, but they don't know Yah. Because when you know Yah made you to be a responsible person. And because you're not responsible, you are the reason why your son is the way he is. Until he learns and understands that, and now I want to correct my handicap and become a whole man, then he can heal himself, right? But most men don't know that they are half of a man because my father was a half of a man. And he's a half of a man because his father was a half of a man. And you got the third and the fourth generation curse going down and down and down. And you think you're a man because you're a sperm or because you're an S donor. When you're just a donor, you're not a man. You've never grown to manhood. You're a boy in a man's body. Okay, so men absent in the home, Yah absent in the home, and when you are absent in the home due to addiction to drugs and things that cause you to not be productive, that brings poverty. And poverty brings panic because you do things that you wouldn't normally do because you got to survive. So you go on the street corner and sell drugs, you get busted, you end up going to jail, right? And you don't know, but when you watch their 13th documentary, they show you how these corporations thrive off of you going to jail. They're getting rich while you in there slaving and being oppressed and being imprisoned between four walls. But you don't know that. What was the name of that organization? What was it called?
Was it ECLA? ECLA?
Yeah.
Well, that's the one that did the law.
Okay, you gotta watch the doc. Go on Netflix and watch it. But I forget, it was a corporation that was in cahoots with the government, primarily the Republicans, and they came out of their mouth in the documentary and acknowledged their loyalty to this corporation that was making money off of black people being in prison. But y'all want to go to jail.
Working for pennies on the dollar. The ones that they had to work for an hour and a half just to be able to afford a 10-minute call.
You hear that? So they making merchandise out of our people. And you think, oh, well, you know, I'm just going to go to jail when it get cold, when I come out when it gets warm.
It's a modern form of slavery.
A modern form of slavery.
You're in the field, but you're in there working for nothing.
And you absent from your family because why? Because you got a void. And what is your void? Your human father is one part of void, but the greatest void is you don't have a connection with your heavenly father. That's why your biological father couldn't have a relationship with you, because he doesn't have a relationship with his heavenly father. He can't be a father without having a relationship with his father to know where his strength comes from. Right? His strength don't come from his own ability. His strength comes from Yah. Right? So, the spirit of Jezebel is the spirit that teaches you that you don't need Yah, right? I'm all right. How many hear young people say, I'm all right? Your problem is not going to change until you get right with Yah, because he gives you the answers to get out of your problem. Some of our problem is that we don't have no discipline. All right? So the spirit of Jezebel teaches you to not have discipline. Just do what you feel. Because remember it said, she teaches them to do what? She seduces them. What's seduction all about? Seduction is about feeling. Right? Now, I wrote some stuff here. We're going to deal with some stuff right quick. So now, why? I didn't get to that part yet. Okay. So let's go to 1 Kings. We just covered 1 Kings chapter 16. Now I want to move to 1 Kings chapter 18. Okay, 1 Kings chapter 18. We're still talking about the spirit of Jezebel, spirit of Izebel, Jezebel, right? 1 Kings chapter 18. We're going to read verses 1 through 4. All right?
And it came to pass after many days that the word of Yah came to Eliyahu in the 3rd year, saying, Go, show thyself unto Ahab, and I will send rain upon the earth. And Eliyahu went to show himself unto Ahab, and there was a sore famine in Samaria. And Ahab called Obadiah, which was the governor of his house. Now Obadiah feared Yah greatly. For it was so, when Izebel cut off the prophets of Yah, that Obadiah took 100 prophets and hid them by 50 in a cave and fed them with bread and water.
That's good. Now, so it says here that Izebel cut off the prophets of Yah, and she took hundreds of prophets. Obadiah took hundreds of prophets, but what I want to point out is that Izebel cut off the prophets, right? So now, I have a question. What benefit is it for Izebel to cut off the prophet? First of all, what does it mean to cut off the prophets? I tell you what. I'll tell you what we're going to do. Hold on a second. I want that verse where it said that, let's just continue to read. Okay. All right. So Izebel, she cut off the prophet. Okay, go ahead.
Verse 5. And Ahab said unto Obadiah, go into the land unto all fountains of water and unto all brooks. Peradventure we may find grass to save the horses and mules alive, that we lose not all the beasts. So they divided the land between them to pass throughout it. Ahab went one way by himself, and Obadiah went another way by himself. Is that? Keep going.
That's good.
Is that not where you want me?
No. All right, go to verse 17. Wait a minute, hold on. Did you read 13? Okay. Read verse 12 and 13.
Okay. And it shall come to pass, as soon as I am gone from thee, that the Spirit of Yah will carry thee whither I know not. And so when I come and tell Ahab he cannot find thee, he shall slay me, but I thy servant fear Yah from my youth. Was it not told my master what I did when Jezebel slew the prophets of Yah? How I hid 100 men of Yah's prophets by 50 in a cave and fed them with bread and water?
That's it. So that's what I was looking for. So Izebel slew the prophets. It said, we read earlier that she cut the prophets off, but it didn't go ahead and explain what it meant by cutting off. But there it makes it clear that she slew the prophets, right? But the prophet Obadiah, he hid him in the cave, right? All right, now, so here's my question. Why, I always wanted to know this, why did Izebel kill the prophets? We already covered it already. He explained it already. But now we know. Why did she kill the prophets? She had the same knowledge that Jeroboam had, that if I can keep Israel into disobedience and on the judgment side of Yah, my kingdom would be spared. She wasn't really too much concerned about Ahab. Even though he's an Israelite, knowing that he had a covenant that he had to obey, or otherwise he would be dethroned. She wasn't an Israelite. Okay? She's a Canaanite. So she could easily have left and divorced him and went back to her Canaanite family. And Yah judged Ahab, the Israelite, sent him into captivity, and she's still in the land. She still does what? She still gets a throne. So that's one of the benefits why she was cool with them disobeying Yah. Okay? Now, she was a descendant of the cursed seed. In Genesis chapter 9, remember the story when Noah said, "Cursed be Canaan. He shall be a servant to his brother." Right? She was of that seed. In Deuteronomy 28, the Most High told Israel, if you obey me and keep my covenant, you shall be blessed coming in, blessed going out. But if you disobey, cursed are you going to be, cursed in the field, and you're going to go into captivity, right? That happened in Judges chapter 3. Every time Israel transgressed against Yah, every time they followed the doctrine of Jezebel, which is transgressing the law of Yah, they went into captivity. Okay? So she wanted to keep Israel. She wanted to dominate Israel, right? With her doctrine so that she could keep the curses on Israel so she can benefit from their disobedience. Can you see the parallel between today? That's what the religion of Christianity does. It keeps you in disobedience that the curses remain. Have it ever dawned on you why these cops are still killing these black people even after George Floyd? Did I say his name right? George Floyd? Mm-hmm. Even after the Floyd trial, and they still killing people? Mm-hmm. What's the answer? Okay? And I know somebody say, well, brother, they kill white people too. When you look at the statistics, proportionally wise, right? We're the smaller of the population, but the large. You got to watch that documentary, The 13th by Ava DuVernay. All right? So she wanted to keep the children of Israel in disobedience so that they could be disinherited and that Yah's judgment would come upon them. So the doctrine of Jezebel keeps the judgment on the people, so the people continue to work, overwork, underpaid. Preacher tell you, keep tithing, don't miss a tithe. Matter of fact, tithe off of your gross, not off of your, what is it, gross? Is gross more than net? Mm-hmm. Tithe off your gross, not off your net. And when you get your refund check from the government, tithe off of that too.
Still 20%. 10%, give 20%.
And you're not under the law. So what are they doing? Huh? Mm-hmm. Keeping you in bondage and keeping them on the top. The more you disobey the Creator, the more you stay on the bottom, and the more they benefit from your disobedience. That's why COVID-19 came, shut a lot of them churches down. Most High said, all right, I'm going to fix all of y'all. I'm going to shut you down. Now they mad and pissed off because the government had to shut the churches down. So she wanted to keep the children of Israel in disobedience so that she could so that they could be disinherited and Yah's judgment would be upon them. Okay? She was, as pastors today, some are ignorant and some are willfully, some are conscientiously stupid, right? And some are sincerely ignorant. Mm-hmm. There's no in between. Either you know what you're teaching is wrong, or you are sincere about what you're teaching and you are wrong. We often say, oh, he don't change. But yet we go and teach a whole doctrine of change, don't we? Not under the old law no more. Well, isn't that a change? That's one of the biggest changes you can have.
Yeah, yeah.
And when you look at it, I challenge you, prove me wrong. Show me in the New Testament tithing. Show it to me. You can't, it ain't there. You're not gonna find it. It's not in there. Is it? Mm-hmm. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong now. Show me where it is. Show me where tithing is in the New Testament. Since you say we're not under the Old Testament, show me where tithing is in the New Testament. And then you'll say, well, the tithing was before the law. So my question to you is that, so everything before Moses came was not a law? What about of all the trees in the Garden of Eden, you shall freely eat, but the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, you shall not eat of it. For the day you eat of it, you shall die. Is that a law, or is that just an opinion? Because we've been done wrong, right? If that's not a law, then how could sin by one man's sin enter into the world as is taught in Christian theology? So if that's not a law, then that's not fair that we are in sin, born in sin and shaped in iniquity, because that wasn't a law. That was an opinion. Is it a law or is it an opinion? What is it? Which is it? Right? You say we're not under the Old Testament, but you collecting tithes and offering. You making merchandise out of people, right? And then you get mad, pissed off because you you law keepers, you Pharisees, right? Because we trying to get Israel out of this cursed state into a blessed state. You mad, pissed off because we telling people to obey Yah. And you telling people don't obey Yah. Just keep sending me your tithes and offerings. Dodo brain.
We pay them no attention. Keep on doing Christmas, Easter.
Say that again.
Don't pay them any attention. Keep on celebrating Christmas and Easter.
And that's the dumbest thing you ever. We just showed you in Jeroboam how Jeroboam created his own holidays to keep Israel in disobedience. He taught the doctrine of Jezebel, which is the doctrine of Balaam. Right? The doctrine of the Nicolaitans. In Revelation calls it the doctrine of the Nicolaitans. What is Nicolaitans? Nico means victor, victorious over laity, over the pew people. So the elite, as far as to what? The elders, the bishops, the apostles, and the leaders of the church are the presbytery, right? And the people that are not ordained preachers, pastors, evangelists, so forth, they are the laymen, called laity. Now, the Most High said what? Thou has one thing against you. You hold the doctrine of the Nicolaitans. That's what it is. Nico, power, victory over laity. You do what the pastors say do. Don't ask no questions. Don't question God. Right? Pay them tithes. Don't be under a curse. Pay them offering. Do what the pastors say do. That's the doctrine of the Nicolaitans. Right? You didn't know that? Let's read it real quick. Go to Revelation. I think it's at 2 or 3. Gotta get my seeing eye glasses on now. Y'all got me. Y'all working a brother today. I got something for y'all. Nicolaitans, chapter 3. Is it 3?
I'm thinking it's 3. I don't see that. Wait a minute. Have I heard of that church? Laodicea.
Amen.
Sardis, Philadelphia.
You see it? Nicolaitans, the doctrine. Somebody help me out. Help a brother out. It's in chapter 2. It's verse 15. Nicolaitans. I want you to look it up in Greek. All right. This is 2 and 15. Revelation 2:15. Somebody say, brother, I didn't expect to get all this in the true spirit of Jezebel. What did you expect? No, go ahead.
So hast thou also them that hold the doctrine of the Nicolaitans, which thing I hate.
Okay, what's the word for Nicolaitans? I didn't say Nickelodeon.
Yes, adherent of Nicholas. Nicholas.
Now, what's that? G3532? Let's see. So now what you do is, where's your...
What? Is it up here? The dictionary or which one?
Oh, well, you should have it. Where's your Strong's numbers? Over down here? She got her thing set up different than mine. My e-sword.
Was it?
No, look at the headings. The editors, commentaries.
Under commentaries?
Oh, you must.
Here's my commentary.
You must don't have. You must. I don't think you have it up. You don't have that one. All right, click on diction. Click on the D. See the D up?
Right there.
No, right there. Click that D.
I don't keep it.
Now hit your search button and put Nicolaitans in. So you have to open that window and so that it stay on your main screen. It's NICO, Nico, LAITANES. Hit that. Sometimes it.
This right here.
Yeah. No. Strong's Concordance.
Yes, I'm in the H's. Don't I need to be in the G's?
Okay, let's see. This don't have a number. Hold on, brothers and sisters. Go back to your Bible. Go hit that one there.
C.
No, hit the one with the to the left, the leftmost one.
This one.
Mm-hmm. Now, what's the number? 215.
G 3531.
Okay, 3531. Hold on a second, brothers and sisters. We're having little technical difficulties. 3531. I gotta show you how to set your thing up so you can see your strong numbers.
I keep it like this so I can see my.
Well, you can still put your strong numbers over there because that stuff you're probably not using commentary, so you can probably exit that out. Okay, so what? 35 what?
31.
Okay, 3531. This is.
Click on it says 3532 because I wrote
Okay.
3531.
Okay, so we can go to 3532. 3532. Nico. From 3534 and 2992. It says victorious over the people. See that? Victorious. The doctrine of the Nicolaitans is, years ago I found out what that was. When I used to study on Revelation, I said, what is the doctrine of Nicolaitans? I couldn't find them. Everywhere I went to study, I couldn't find them. And different people saying, well, doctrine of Nicolaitans is talking about St. Nicholas, Christmas and all that. I'm like, no, I'm not following that. That's not what it's saying. It's got to be something deeper than that, right? And so when you look that word up, in the Strong's, in the Greek, it says victory over the people. Or vicar. So it's like the Pope. The Pope is like the vicar, right? They live off of the people, right? So when the temple was destroyed, the priesthood was no longer in operation, because the focus and the function of the priest was to render service in the temple. Now, in modern Christendom, they change it around and they make it to be a thing with the Christian church pastor and bishop or whatever overseers to collect tithes and offerings, right? That's what that is. That's the vicar, the Nicolaitans, right? So they keep you in disobedience to Yah, the doctrine of Jezebel, to control. Now, I'm going to go a step further and say some Hebrew Israelite camps is following the doctrine of Nicolaitans. They doing the same thing, controlling you, telling you what to believe. Don't listen to any other moray but me, right? And so when you hear somebody teach something that's different than what they teach, they tell you don't listen to them. I'm going to tell you, listen, observe all things. We show you how you can prove a person right or wrong by just taking this book and reading it at face value and fact checking them through the concordances, if you will, the dictionaries, historical books, etc., the whole 9 yards. When a person takes one verse and they pop it out, and they go over here, take a verse, pop it out, and go over here, take a verse, pop it out to make a doctrine, that's how you can be tricked. And that's the doctrine of Jezebel, which is the doctrine of control. Okay? Because my issue gave me this early this morning. Izebel is a controlling spirit, right? Manipulation and deceit. You remember saying that? So now, you want to elaborate a little bit on any of that? I'm going to give her the floor. Because that's some powerful stuff that she shared. Help somebody out today.
I said what? Manipulation.
Yeah.
Control. Not really.
How? And you don't have to just keep it with the church. You can just talk about how do a person manipulate you.
Yeah, I mean, those are the tools that she uses to, put you in her web and bring you under her influence. Jezebel wants to keep you looking up to her, and anything and anyone that stands in the way of that, she gonna cut them off. And the same thing happens, in the workplace or whatever. When people want to control and dominate, and they are threatened in any way by someone else, they find a way to separate and disassociate that person from the circle or cut them off. And that person can just show up and not say anything. But if they feel threatened in any way, that you have something that can set people free from their control and their power, you're a threat.
So would you say it's an intimidation?
Mm-hmm.
So what is the purpose of a person? Why would a person want to manipulate you?
Some people need that to feel important themselves.
Okay.
Something's lacking really in that person who's doing it.
Okay. You want to elaborate a little bit on that? What's lacking in them? What lack I get?
I mean, you can look at it from so many things could be lacking, which could have started in their youth, in their upbringing. They have some type of insecurity. If you feel like you have to keep everybody looking up to you and worshiping you, it's idolatry. She's seducing them to worship other deities, and her included.
So what's in it for her? That's what I'm trying to get to. So when a person manipulates you, it's got to be something in it for them, right? Mm-hmm. So what's in it for a person that manipulates you?
Sense of power, I guess.
Mm-hmm. All right, so isn't that what Satan does? He use, like for example, if a person prophesied to you and you don't receive that prophecy, and they get mad at you, like you don't believe I'm a prophet,
or something's bad going to happen to you for not receiving.
Right. So what do they do?
I've seen that.
That's manipulation, right?
Yes.
to cause you to fear them.
Yes.
And because you don't fear them, and in the human side of us, when a person says something, we don't receive it, and they get the monkey on their chest, on their back or whatever, and then they start trying to be forceful to get you to believe that I'm authentic. Right? Huh? That's that manipulation, right?
Yeah, yes it is. So instead of it looking like they are being exposed for being a liar,
Right.
you instead are looking like you being exposed for not receiving what Yah or the Lord has told them.
Yeah.
Because I'm a true prophet and what I'm saying is true, and you need to bow down to what I'm saying.
So that's the spirit of Jezebel. So Jezebel is primarily teaching people to disobey the Most High, and they will use their track record. I got a track record. I prophesied this and this happened. I prophesied that I spoke this and this happened. So that makes them authentic. So now if you challenge what they're saying, now they're going to try to manipulate you.
Flip that script.
To make you feel like there's something wrong with you.
You ain't authentic.
You ain't hearing from the Lord. I'm hearing from the Lord. He speaks to me. Oh, yes, he does. He spoke to me this morning. I had a dream last night. And you see all these people on YouTube having dreams all the time. I got a word, I got a word, I got a word, I got a word. What did Most High say about those that say they have a word? I got a word. Everybody, even Shaul said, everybody got a word.
Every time you come together, one got this and
everybody's got a word. I got a word. Right? So when you reject that person, they do what? They use the spirit of Jezebel, Izebel, to manipulate you to first do what? To rebuke you and make you feel like you. Then what is the first thing they say to you? Touch not my anointed.
yes.
And do my prophets no harm. I'm a prophet. So they try to manipulate you in the mind to make you feel like that you're in error because you're questioning something that they said Yah said, or in their case, the Lord said, when the Lord didn't say nothing. It was in their conscience and their imagination. Like I saw this sister on YouTube. She flipped the script of prophecy that the Most High spoke to, I think it was it Eliyahu or was it Samuel? And she made that applicable to America. I was like, wow. Then she got mad. Don't write no comments on my video because I'm a prophet. I'm like, if you're a prophet, you're not gonna get pissed off because somebody challenges your authority. You just, huh?
No, and people have a right to test that word. What about that? They never bring that up.
But when you test what they saying, they say you testing God. God said it. Right? That's what they say. But the reality of the matter is that is the spirit of manipulation and control, which is the spirit of Jezebel, Izebel. So she's controlling and manipulative and deceitful. Talk a little bit about that, deceitfulness. Let me help you out. You make a prophecy, it don't come to pass. Rather than you saying you missed it, you go to dancing like a lot of these prophets did, the Trump prophets, and they flipped it on the people. Some people flipped it, well, I never gave a date. Or I never said, thus saith Yah. Never owning up to what they said, but blaming it on the people and on everything else. Right?
Mm-hmm. Even him. Because somehow it's his, but he's not taking it. He's not stepping into it. If he wanted, it's there for you. Mm-hmm. Everybody but themselves.
Mm-hmm. So what Shaul said something about? Was it Shaul said something about deceiving them own selves? Deceiving their own selves. You're not deceiving. See, when a person is operating under the spirit of Izebel, They think they deceiving the people, but they're not deceiving the people. They only deceiving themselves. Because the people are only going to go along with you as long as it's convenient for them. When it's not convenient for them, then they're going to flip the script on you. When it's benefiting them, they're going to push you. You could prophet lie all day long and say, you know, this is going to happen. And this, listen, we did a lesson on prophecy. Just because you say something and comes to pass don't make you a prophet. It don't make you approved of Yah. We did a lesson showing you that the Most High spoke through a jackass. A donkey. A jackass, right? Okay? So maybe you're a jackass. But it don't make you authentic because you said something that came to pass. That don't make you no prophet of Yah. That's how people get tricked and trapped. They follow somebody because somebody said something that came to pass, right? All right, now let me come to a close here. All right, so let's go to 1 Kings chapter 19. So we should be clear on what the spirit of Jezebel is, the true spirit of Jezebel is by now. All right, we're gonna put a little nails, put some nails in the coffin. Okay, so 1 Kings chapter 19 verse 1. Watch this here. All right, go ahead.
And Ahab told Izebel all that Eliyahu had done, and withal how he had slain all the prophets with the sword. Then Izebel sent a messenger unto Eliyahu, saying, So let the deities do to me, and more also, if I make not thy life as the life of one of them by tomorrow about this time. And when he saw that, he arose.
So we see that manipulation, right?
Yes.
There it is, manipulation. See, we talking about the spirit. We're not talking about no makeup and jewelry and lipstick and earrings. We're talking about manipulation. She threatened him, tried to put fear in his heart.
If I make not thy life as thy life of one of them tomorrow about this time.
Isn't that what the so-called prophets do today? You say something or you attack or challenge their theology, and they call themselves a so-called prophet, they're going to prophesy, pronounce doom on you. But you know what? No weapon formed against me shall prosper. No. Right? But every tongue that shall rise up against me, I condemn it through the word of Yah. Casting under my feet. How about that? All right, go ahead.
And when he saw that, he arose and went for his life, and came to Beersheba, which belongeth to Judah, and sent and left his servant there.
So he fled. So the king, the prophet, the man, listen. This man that slew all the prophets of Baal, y'all didn't get, you got to read the story. When the prophets of Baal, when Eliyahu went through there, and he told him, he said, the Elohim that answers by fire, let him be Elohim, right? And so y'all got to go read the story. He had them to pray to their deities, and the fire never came from heaven.
He filled his trench with water.
He filled the trench with water. He said, keep pouring water on it, right? And then when he got done, he called down for Yahweh El Shaddai, right? And fire came down and consumed the altar sacrifice, and all the prophets, the false prophets of Baal, were slain. This man saw the operation of Yah. But now this woman who's got this Jezebel controlling manipulative spirit of deceit got him afraid because she killed prophets of Yah. All right.
But he himself went a day's journey into the wilderness, and came and sat down under a juniper tree. And he requested for himself that he might die, and said, It is enough now, O Yah, take away my life, for I am not better than my fathers.
And stop. Some of you pastors know this doctrine that you've been ordained to preach is straight deceitful deceptive and a straight up lie. But you you operating like Eliyahu. You went and hid under the juniper tree because you're afraid to go against your church's doctrine. You're afraid to go against your organization. So you have taken on the spirit of Eliyahu, which is the same spirit that had got a hold of Ahab. We're going to see that too. All right, go ahead.
And as he lay and slept under a juniper tree, behold, then an angel or Malachim messenger touched him and said unto him, Arise and eat. And he looked, and behold, there was a cake baking on the coals and a cruse of water at his head. And he did eat and drink and laid him down again. And the messenger of Yah came again the second time and touched him and said, Arise and eat, because the journey is too great for thee. And he arose and did eat and drink and went in the strength of that meat 40 days and 40 nights unto Horeb, the mount of Yah. Keep going. And he came thither unto a cave and lodged there. And behold, the word of Yah came to him, and he said unto him, What doest thou, Eliyahu? What doest thou here? And he said, I have been very zealous or jealous for Yah of hosts, for the children of Israel have forsaken thy covenant, thrown down thine altars, and slain thy prophets with the sword. And I, even I only, am left, and they seek my life to take it away.
So sometimes you feel like you're the only one speaking this. I know I do. When I look at my friends and loved ones, and family and all, and I'm like, I'm a rare, and my issue can tell you the same thing. What is wrong with us?
Speaking another language. got another gospel, another good news.
What is wrong? He think he's the only person that's proclaiming the truth of Yah and not preaching the doctrine of Jezebel. All right, go ahead.
And he said, Go forth and stand upon the mount before Yah. And behold, Yah passed by, and a great and a strong wind rent the mountains and break in pieces the rocks before Yah. But Yah was not in the wind, and after the wind an earthquake. But Yah was not in the earthquake. And after the earthquake a fire. But Yah was not in the fire. And after the fire a still small voice. And it was so when Eliyahu heard it that he wrapped his face in his mantle and went out and stood in the entering of the cave. And behold, there came a voice unto him and said, What doest thou here, Eliyahu? And he said, I have been very zealous for Yah thy Elohim, because the children of Israel have forsaken thy covenant, thrown down thine altars, and slain thy prophets with the sword. And I only am left, and they seek my life to take it away. And Yah said unto him, Return on thy way to the wilderness of Damascus, and when thou comest, anoint Hazael to be king over Syria. Keep going.
Oh, you got to get this here. This my main man right here, Yahoo. Verse 16.
And Yahu, the son of Nimshi, said, And Yahu, the son of Nimshi, shalt thou anoint to be king over Israel. And Elisha, the son of Shaphat of Abel Maholah, shalt thou anoint to be prophet in thy room. And it shall come to pass that him that escapeth the sword of Hazael shall Yahu slay, and him that escapeth from the sword of Yahu shall Elisha slay. Yet I have left 7,000 in Israel, all the knees which have not bowed unto Baal, and every mouth which have not kissed him. So he departed thence and found Elisha the son of Shaphat, who was plowing with 12 yoke of oxen before him, and he with the 12th. And Eliyahu passed by him and cast his mantle upon him. And he left the oxen and ran after Eliyahu and said, Let me, I pray thee, kiss my father and my mother, and then I will follow thee. And he said unto him, Go back then again, for what have I done to thee? And he returned back from him and took a yoke of oxen and slew him and boiled their flesh with the instruments of the oxen and gave unto the people, and they did eat. Then he arose and went after Eliyahu and ministered unto him.
That's good. So that's my main man Yahoo. Now Yahoo was the one that put Izebel down, right? So let's go to, hold on before we do that. Let's show you some more of the spirit and the character of the spirit of Izebel, right? Because we know the primary spirit was to teach them to disobey Yah and to serve another deity, right? So now let's go to chapter 21. First King chapter 21, and we're going to read let's see, let's start at verse 5. No, let's start at verse 4. That's kind of in the middle of the thought, but let's work with it.
Okay. And Ahab came into his house heavy and displeased because of the word which Naboth the Jezreelite had spoken to him, for he had said, I will not give thee the inheritance of my fathers. And he laid him down upon his bed and turned his face and would eat no bread. But Jezebel, his wife, came to him and said unto him, Why is thy spirit so sad that thou eatest no bread? And he said unto her, Because I spake unto Naboth the Jezreelite, and said unto him, Give me my vineyard for money, or else, if it please thee, I will give thee another vineyard for it. And he answered, And I will not give thee my vineyard. And Izebel his wife said unto him, Dost thou now govern the kingdom of Israel? Arise and eat bread, and let thine heart be merry. I will give thee the vineyard of Naboth the Jezreelite.
All right, stop. So what was she doing there?
What was he doing?
What was she doing to him? She said, Aren't you the king?
She's flattering him. She's propping him up. You the man. You the one.
That's keep him encouraged. She's encouraging him. And that's what the false prophets, the prophets of Baal do. Every last one of you get on there to get on you to, I'm going to encourage you. Right? Encouraging you to disobey. Right? All right, go ahead.
Where did I stop at?
Verse 8.
So she wrote letters in Ahab's name and sealed them with his seal and sent the letters unto the elders and to the nobles that were in his city dwelling with Naboth.
She wrote the letters and sent them in his name. So what is that she doing now? She's being deceitful, right?
Yeah.
The spirit of, you talked about that, deceitful. She's deceiving the people into believing that Ahab is writing it and she's writing it. Just like people, the so-called prophets of Jezebel, of Baal, telling the people that Yah said it when they said it. You know, am I right? That's deceit. You saying the Lord told, if I be a prophet, right? And then the things you said didn't come to pass. Now you pissed off and mad because the people not following you. But you said the Lord told you and it didn't come to pass, and you put that spin on there and said, if I be a prophet of God. Oh my, go ahead. This is good.
Verse 9, and she wrote in the letter saying, proclaim a fast and set Naboth on high among the people. And set 2 men, sons of Belial, before him to bear witness against him, saying, thou didst blaspheme Yah and the king. And then carry him out and stone him that he may die. And the men of his city, even the elders and the nobles who were the inhabitants in his city, did as Izebel had sent unto them. and as it was written in the letters which she had sent unto them. They proclaimed a fast and set Naboth on high among the people. And there came in 2 men, children of Belial, before him, and the men of Belial witnessed against him, even against Naboth, in the presence of the people, saying, Naboth did blaspheme Yah and the king. Then they carried him forth out of the city and stoned him with stones that he died. Then they sent to Izebel, saying, Naboth is stoned and is dead. And it came to pass, when Izebel heard that Naboth was stoned and was dead, that Izebel said to Ahab, Arise, take possession of the vineyard of Naboth the Israelite, which he refused to give thee for money. For Naboth is not alive, but dead. And it came to pass, when Ahab heard that Naboth was dead, that Ahab rose up to go down to the vineyard of Naboth the Israelite to take possession of it.
Watch this now. The Most High gave him another word. The Izebel caused him to disobey, and then now she had a man killed. See, these prophets of Baal will have people killed to make their prophecy come to pass. Yeah, you take some time to go on YouTube to see people prophesying. This sister prophesied that two key leaders in the White House are going to die, one in the morning and one in the evening. Isn't that something? All right, go ahead.
And the word of Yah came unto Eliyahu the Tishbite, saying, Arise and go down to meet Ahab, king of Israel, which is in Samaria. Behold, he is in the vineyard of Naboth, whither he is gone down to possess it. And thou shalt speak unto him, saying, Thus saith Yah, Hast thou killed and also taken possession? And thou shalt speak unto him, saying, Thus saith Yah, In the place where dogs lick the blood of Naboth, shall dogs lick the blood, even thine.
All right, stop. So Ahab is being judged for what Izebel did. Why? You ever thought about that? Why is Ahab being judged for what Izebel did? She was the one that had him killed.
But he was a part. He knew what was going on. He knew she wrote the letters. He was definitely a partaker.
All right.
And Ahab said to Eliyahu, Hast thou found me, O mine enemy? And he answered, I have found thee, because thou hast sold thyself to work evil in the sight of Yah. Behold, I will bring evil upon thee, and will take away thy posterity, and will cut off from Ahab him that pisseth against the wall, and him that is shut up and left is in Israel, and will make thine house like the house of Jeroboam the son of Nebat, and like the house of Baasha the son of Ahijah, for the provocation wherewith thou hast provoked me to anger, and made Israel to sin. And to Jezebel also spake Yah, saying, The dog shall eat Jezebel by the wall Yisrael. And him that dieth of Ahab in the city the dog shall eat, and him that dieth in the field shall the fowls of the air eat. Keep going. But there was none like unto Ahab, which did sell himself to work wickedness in the sight of Yah, whom Jezebel his wife stirred up. And he did very abominably and following idols, according to all things as he did the Amorites, whom Yah cast out before the children of Israel. And it came to pass, when Ahab heard those words, that he rent his clothes and put sackcloth upon his flesh, and fasted and lay in sackcloth and went softly.
Too late.
And the word of Yah came to Eliyahu the Tishbite, saying, Seest thou how Ahab humbleth himself before me? Because he humbleth himself before me, I will not bring the evil in his days, but in his son's days will I bring the evil upon his house.
That's good. So now we're going to skip some reading. You got to read, continue to read Ahab. Now, but this lesson is about Izebel. So let's go to 2 Kings chapter 9. So now we in 2 Kings. We're going to close out here. 2 Kings chapter 9. All right. Let's see. Now, the prophet Eliyahu has gone on to be with Yah now. The prophet Eliyahu was taken up in the fire chariot, and we couldn't find a record of his death in the Testament of the prophets, but that's another lesson. We'll deal with that another time. All right, so 2 Kings chapter 9, and let's see. Let's start at read verse 1 first, and then I will go from there.
And Elisha the prophet called unto one of the children of the prophets and said unto him, Gird up thy loins and take this box of oil in thine hand and go to Ramoth Gilead.
Okay, go ahead.
And when thou comest thither, look out there Jehu the son of Jehoshaphat, the son of Nimshi, and go in and make him arise up from among his brethren and carry him to an inner chamber.
Go ahead.
Then take the box of oil and pour it on his head and say, Thus saith Yah, I have anointed thee king over Israel. Then open the door and flee and tarry not. So the young man, even the young man, the prophet, went to Ramoth Gilead. And when he came, behold, the captains of the host were sitting, and he said, I have an errand to thee, O captain. And Jehu said, Unto which of all of us? And Jehu said, Unto which of all us? And he said to thee, O captain. And he arose and went into the house, and he poured the oil on his head, and said unto him, Thus saith Yah, the Elohim of Israel, I have anointed thee king over the people of Yah, even over Israel. And thou shalt smite the house of Ahab thy master, that I may avenge the blood of my servants the prophets, and the blood of all the servants of the Yah, and the hand of Izebel. For the whole house of Ahab shall perish, and I will cut off from Ahab him that pisseth against the wall, and him that is shut up and left in Israel. Verse 9. And I will make the house of Ahab like the house of Jeroboam the son of Nebat, and like the house of Baasha the son of Ahijah. And the dog shall eat Jezebel in the portion of Yisrael, and there shall be none to bury her. And he opened the door and fled. Then Jehu came forth to the servants of his master, and one said unto him, Is all well? Wherefore came this mad fellow to thee? And he said unto them, Ye know the man and his communication. And he said, and they said, It is false, tell us now. And he said thus, and spake, and he to me, saying, Thus saith Yah, I have anointed thee king over Israel. Then they hasted and took every man his garment and put it under him on the top of the stairs, and blew his trumpet, saying, Jehu is king.
That's good. So now let's go down to what? Let's go down to 32. Let's wrap it up.
And he lifted up his face to the window and said, Who is on my side? Who? And there looked out to him 2 or 3 eunuchs. And he said, Throw her down. So they threw her down, and some of her blood was sprinkled on the wall and on the horses, and he trod her under foot. And when he was come in, he did eat and drink, and said, Go, see now this cursed woman, and bury her, for she is a king's daughter. And they went to bury her, but they found no more of her than the skull and the feet and the palms of her hands. Wherefore they came again and told him, and he said, This is the word of Yah. which he spoke by the servant Eliyahu the Tishbite, saying, in the portion of Yisrael shall dogs eat the flesh of Jezebel, and the carcass of Jezebel shall be as dung upon the face of the field in the portion of Yisrael, so that they shall not say, this is Jezebel.
That's good. So by the mouth of the prophet, he spoke judgment on Izebel, who taught the children of Israel to commit fornication. She seduced them, right? And Ahab was the king, who was an Israelite. She seduced him, who was the leader, to seduce the people. So you got the first lady seducing the pastor, and the pastor seducing the people, and the people being judged by Yah for disobeying his law and following the doctrine of Izebel, which is the doctrine of disobedience to Yah's laws, statutes, and commandments. So with that said, that pretty much wraps up the lesson on the spirit, the true spirit of Izebel. So prayerfully you got something out of this lesson, and now you have a different view of what the Jezebel spirit is. Izebel is not a controlling woman. It is a woman who is controlling Israel to disobey the Most High. That was what she did because she served another deity. Okay? Now, just because your wife is a woman and she makes suggestions doesn't make her a Jezebel, as some camps do. If she's teaching you or pulling you away from Yah to disobey Yah, then she's a Jezebel. Or for that matter, anybody. It could be a man who's teaching you, a pastor who's teaching you to disobey Yah is a Jezebel. He's operating under the spirit of Jezebel. Why? Because Jezebel taught the people to commit fornication. Right? Anything else you want to add? I don't know where that cough came from, but I guess it came right on time. I had more I was going to share, but that's the gist of what I was going to share for this lesson. So, if this lesson has been a blessing to you, you can send your tithes and offerings. No, I'm kidding. But if you want to make a contribution, you can. Okay. Our Cash App is $ChazaqKabad, $ChazaqKabad, ChazaqKabad, KABAD, $ChazaqKabad. Okay. That's our Cash App. If you want to send something through Cash App, if you want to send something through Zelle, then you can send it to my email, which is yahresh, YAHRESH at yahoo.com. Right? Yahresh at yahoo.com. That's my Zelle. Okay. So for those that want to make contributions, it's not obligation. I'm not telling you, y'all said you got to do it. But if you've been blessed by our sharing and you want to make a contribution, you can do so. All right. And under this video, after it's finished processing, I will also leave that information in case you want to come back later on and you can't remember exactly what I said. I'll say it one more time. It's $ChazaqKabad. That's Cash App. ChazaqKabad. $ChazaqKabad. Okay. And Zelle, on the Zelle app, it is email yahresh, YAHRESH at yahoo.com. Okay. So Prayerfully, you got something out of the lesson. I'm going to go ahead and sign off for now. Let's see. Let's look and see if we got comments here. I can kind of take a break from the. Looks like my computer was skipping, so I had it. So I don't know if that was a result of the stream. It's not skipping now, so I don't know.
It didn't do it long.
What's going on? But it was skipping, so I don't know if you all was seeing it skip or not. Oh, love you too, Coach Sandra. And oh, she liked that. She liked that Greek vicar over the people. My cousin Elder Alfonso Howard says a lot of people don't know that spirit can be in a man or woman. It's a spirit that wants to usurp authority and stop the flow of the spirit. And that's absolutely right. And how do you stop the flow of the spirit? By teaching people to disobey the commandments and laws and statutes of the Most High. Because the flow of the spirit is life. The spirit comes to give life. The spirit, see, a lot of times we think the spirit comes to make us feel good. Hey, the spirit's here. I mean, religion makes you feel good. A few shots of tequila make you feel good. Some good wine make you feel good, right? But this is not about feeling good. It's about learning the ways of Yah so we can fulfill our potential in every area of our life, that we can live a life that's pleasing to us, number one, that we can delight in the things in which the Most High has blessed us with, right? So that's the key. Maury Irvin said, oh, yes, you're on it. Oh, Shabbat Shalom, Maury Irvin. To Nathan Price Sr. All right, looks like so prayerfully we lost most of the people today because I only see 4 people online. That's what my thing is showing. Only see 4 people between the between the streams. Let's see if I can do this here. Now that it stopped, let's see if I can. It might be this computer. That's what reason why I got the new computer, because it was kind of skipping. Okay, let's see. All right. Okay, so oh, yes, I was done. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and shut down. I was just trying to look at something. So, brother and sister, appreciate you all. Love you all. The love of Yah. Until the next time, say shalom.
Shalom.
Shalom. Shalom.